Hello, my name is Nathaniel Spencer, and I'd like to introduce our passion project today. Our passion project is named Historical Values. These are my partners, Marcus Allen and Matthew Congdon. The actual name of the game is Through the Blood and the Mud, which is a military quote. The full quote is through the blood and the mud to the green fields beyond. And we are going to tell you why we're in Mechatronics.
Now, there are a bunch of different reasons why I joined the Mechatronics Academy, but I would have to say the big one was because it's not like your standard class. Instead of just sitting there taking notes, doing assignments, and preparing for a test, you actually get to be hands-on in your work and actually choose what you want to do.
I joined Mechatronics because I wanted to get away from that basic class structure of taking notes, writing tests, and that's really it. And I got exactly that out of Mechatronics because we do these things called engineering design challenges. And it's just challenges that are very interactive, collaborative, and interesting.
I joined for a few reasons, actually. My first reason is because I love creation, and even if it's a crappy creation, it was still my creation after all. The second reason is my love for games, and I can intertwine all of these reasons as well as my interests on top of that in Mechatronics. And so far, it's been really great, and I can't wait to come back next year.
Now, there were some pretty big challenges that came with designing a video game. For me personally, I was creating a character for a video game, but all the progress that I had created got lost, so I had to restart, and that I didn't really like that. I was hoping I could have continued to work on the creation that I already had.
Big challenge for me, just getting into it, because I had no idea what I was doing when I first got on this, so finding what I had to do and how to do it exactly to the point was a big challenge for me.
A challenge I had was just like Matthew, but another challenge was actually finding the music for a game based off of a world war. It's got to be very specific, and finding something that actually suits that was a pretty big challenge of mine.
We did have successes in our video game design too. For me, one big success was creating an animation for the character that we had to create for the British soldier. I found that it was a pretty big step in towards creating our actual product.
Big success for me, just building the first pieces of landscape and the models and adding our FPS controller, as we call it, to get you to move around, hit things, jump, sprint, basic functions.
A big success of mine was just creating the menu. It's not too complex. It's just an options start game and quick game.
So this is the British soldier that I had created that sadly got lost. On the left, you can see kind of the beginning production of it, where it's just the basic body model. And then on the right, you can see the actual finished product with the walking animation and actual clothing design.
This is, very top there is my menu thus far. I plan to make the options menu, I'm going to add more options. It's based around the Union Jack, which is the background, Canada's old flag. We plan to add full history and everything surrounding the subjects and the battles that happened in certain wars, specifically the ones that Canada participated in.
On the bottom there, we see a very outdated picture of our landscape that doesn't have the deformation in the land. That's why it's not looks as bad. So we have some trenches there, some trees. It also doesn't have the border, so you can't leave the map. And then right there we have the models for the hands. We have a spade or shovel, and then we have a very basic UI that doesn't work fully.
Some big takeaways that I'm pretty sure all of us have experienced. One of them that I experienced throughout the entire Mechatronics program was failures. There's always going to be failures wherever you go. You just have to be sure to learn from them, because they always will be inevitable.
Takeaway for me would have to be taking risks, trying to learn new things because of my previous ineptitude with Unity, with me not knowing how to do anything with it. And so me jumping onto this project, making a video game with my accomplices here, that was a pretty big risk because we risked not doing great.
A risk for, one of the takeaways I got is definitely collaboration. It is vital. It is incredibly important, especially when working with a group. Even when not working with a group, you've got to make sure you've got some outside resource. You can't handle everything alone normally. And we plan to work on this through the summer and 2020. We want to continue to make it with certain events like Croatia, World War I, Vimy Ridge, World War II, Juno Beach. We plan to work on it a lot more and make this a much better project. Thank you all for your time, and this was our project.